Captain Luke Morrison stood on the bridge of his ship, watching the stars through the massive window. He was tall and strong, with gray hair that showed his 45 years of life. His blue eyes looked tired but alert. Behind him, his crew worked quietly at their stations. They had been doing this same job for months now, watching and waiting. "Sir, we have movement on the long-range sensors," said Lieutenant Dan Foster from his position at the control panel. Dan was young, only 26, with brown hair and quick hands that moved fast across the buttons and screens. Luke walked over to look at the display. 3 small dots moved slowly across the screen, heading toward their star system. He knew what this meant. After 150 years of hiding, someone had finally found them. "How far away are they?" Luke asked. "About 2 days at their current speed," Dan replied. "They're flying in formation, looks like a survey team." Luke nodded slowly. He had been preparing for this day his whole life, just like his father and grandfather before him. The colony had always known that someday the outside galaxy would find them. They had used that time wisely. "Send a message to Dr. Kate Sullivan and Commander Jake Peterson. Tell them to meet me in the war room in 10 minutes, Luke ordered. The war room was deep inside the main colony ship. Luke arrived first and sat down at the round metal table. Soon, Dr. Kate Sullivan walked in. She was 38 years old with red hair and green eyes. She wore the white coat of a scientist, but Luke knew she was much more than that. Kate had spent 15 years working on projects that would shock the galaxy. Commander Jake Peterson came in next. He was a big man with black hair and dark skin. At 42 years old, Jake had trained every soldier in their colony. He was the best military mind Luke had ever known. "They found us," Luke said simply. Kate sat down and opened her tablet. "I've been tracking their signals for the past hour. It's a Federation ship called the Starweaver. 300 crew members. Standard. Survey equipment." "What do we know about them?" Jake asked. "The ship is from the Galactic Federation. They think this system is empty and worthless. They're probably just doing a routine check," Kate explained. Luke looked at both of them. "Are we ready?" Jake smiled. "We've been ready for 50 years. Our defense systems are online, our ships are prepared, most importantly, our people know what to do." "What about the terraforming projects?" Luke asked Kate. "All 5 planets are complete. The cities are fully operational. Our population is now 2.3 million people spread across the system. We're not just surviving anymore, Luke. We're thriving." Luke stood up and walked to the large screen on the wall. With the touch of a button, it showed their entire star system. 5 green and blue planets orbited their sun. Each planet had cities, farms, and millions of people living normal, happy lives. Space stations connected the planets, and thousands of ships moved between them carrying goods and people. "Our ancestors came here running from war and destruction on Earth," Luke said. "They were scared and desperate, but they were also smart. They knew that hiding wasn't enough. They had to become stronger." Kate nodded. "Every generation has added something new. Better technology, stronger ships, smarter systems. We've taken alien technology from crashed ships and made it better. We've solved problems that the galaxy gave up on centuries ago." "And now?" Jake asked. "Now we show them what humans can really do," Luke answered. The next morning, the Federation ship Starweaver entered their star system. Captain Roy Hendricks was in command of the Federation vessel. He was an alien with blue skin and 4 arms, typical of his species. He expected to find nothing but empty space and dead rocks. Instead, his sensors immediately detected massive energy readings from all 5 planets in the system. "What is this?" Captain Hendricks asked his crew in shock. "Sir, I'm reading cities, power plants, and thousands of ships. This system is heavily populated," his science officer reported. "That's impossible. Our records show this system has been empty for over 500 years. Before Captain Hendricks could give more orders, his ship's systems suddenly went dark. The lights went out, the engines stopped, and all weapons became useless. But life support continued to work perfectly. A calm human voice came through their communication system. "Federation ship Starweaver, this is Captain Luke Morrison of the Kepler colony. Your ship has been safely disabled. You are not in danger, but you cannot leave until we have talked. Captain Hendricks tried to respond, but his communication systems would not work for outgoing messages. He could only listen. We know this is surprising for you, Luke continued. Humans were supposed to be dead or scattered across the galaxy as refugees. Instead, we built something new here. We built something better. On the main screen of the Starweaver, images began to appear. Beautiful cities with tall buildings made of metal and glass, green parks and clean rivers, happy families walking on streets that looked more advanced than anything in Federation space. We have been watching the galaxy for many decades, Luke's voice continued. We know about the wars, the corruption, and the suffering. We know that many species think humans are weak and primitive. Today, that changes. Jake Peterson appeared on the screen. He was wearing a military uniform that looked both familiar and strange to the Federation crew. Your ship was disabled by technology you do not understand, Jake explained calmly. We could have destroyed you easily, but that is not our way. Instead, we want to talk. Dr. Kate Sullivan appeared next. Behind her, the Federation crew could see laboratories filled with equipment that looked centuries ahead of their own technology. We have solved problems that your best scientists said were impossible, Kate said. We can travel instantly between star systems. We can turn dead planets into gardens in just a few years. We can cure diseases that kill millions of your people every year. Captain Hendricks and his crew sat in stunned silence. Everything they thought they knew about humans was wrong. Ambassador Lisa Taylor appeared on the screen last. She was an older woman with silver hair and a kind but serious face. She wore clothes that looked both diplomatic and military. Captain Hendricks, we are going to return control of your ship to you soon, Lisa said. When we do, you will carry a message back to the Galactic Federation. The message is simple. Humanity is no longer hiding. We are ready to take our place in the galaxy. But first, Lisa continued, you will see what we have built here. You will understand what humans can accomplish when we work together toward a common goal. The Starweaver's systems came back online. Captain Hendricks found that he could move his ship, but only along a specific path that would take him on a tour of the human colony. For the next 6 hours, the Federation crew saw wonders they had never imagined. Cities that floated in the clouds of gas giant planets, underwater colonies, with clear domes where families lived and children played, massive space stations that produced food and goods using technology that seemed like magic. They saw human ships that moved without visible engines, human computers that could think and learn, and human factories that could build anything from raw materials in just minutes. Most shocking of all, they saw that the humans were happy. There was no poverty, no crime, no war between the planets. Every person they saw looked healthy and content. When the tour was over, Captain Hendricks found his voice again. How? He asked simply. Luke Morrison's face appeared on the screen one more time. We learned from our mistakes, Captain. We learned from your mistakes too. We spent 150 years building something better than what exists in the rest of the galaxy. And now we're ready to share it with everyone else. 3 weeks after Captain Hendricks returned to Federation space, the galaxy was in chaos. Every news channel, every government meeting, and every conversation seemed to focus on one thing. The humans were alive, and they were far more advanced than anyone had imagined. Ambassador Lisa Taylor sat in her private office aboard the colony's main diplomatic ship. She was preparing for the most important meeting in human history. Today she would address the full Galactic Federation Council on their homeworld of Nexus Prime. Her assistant, a young woman named Amy Watson, knocked on the door and entered. Ambassador, your transport is ready. Admiral Roy Hendricks is waiting to escort you to the Federation capital, Amy said. Lisa looked up from her papers. Admiral Hendricks was not the same person as the Federation captain who had discovered them. This Roy Hendricks was a human, a tall man with gray hair and sharp eyes who commanded the colony's secret military fleet. Thank you, Amy. Is Dr. Nina Brooks ready with her presentation? Lisa asked. Yes, ma'am. She has all the evidence prepared. The council won't know what hit them. Lisa smiled. Dr. Nina Brooks was their xenobiology expert, a brilliant woman who had spent 20 years studying alien technology that had crashed on their planets over the decades. What she had discovered would change everything. The journey to Nexus Prime took only 30 minutes using their quantum displacement drive. The same trip would have taken Federation ships 3 days. When they arrived, thousands of alien reporters and officials were waiting to see the mysterious humans. Admiral Hendricks walked beside Lisa as they entered the massive Federation Council building. He wore a uniform that looked both military and diplomatic, with symbols that no alien had ever seen before. "Remember," he whispered to Lisa, "we're not here to threaten them. We're here to educate them." The council chamber was enormous, with representatives from over 200 different alien species. They all stared as the small human delegation walked to the center of the room. Lisa had never seen so many different types of aliens in one place. There were tall, thin beings with multiple eyes, short creatures covered in fur, and others that looked like living crystals. The council leader, a creature that looked like a giant insect with golden wings, spoke first. "The Galactic Federation recognizes Ambassador Lisa Taylor of the human colony. You may present your statement." Lisa stood calmly and activated a holographic projector. Immediately, images of the human colony appeared above the council chamber. Planets covered in green forests and blue oceans, cities that sparkled in the sunlight, and millions of happy people living in peace. "Honored council members," Lisa began, "I am here to tell you the truth about humanity. For 150 years you believed we were extinct or scattered as refugees across the galaxy. You were wrong." She pressed a button and the images changed to show massive space stations and fleets of ships that looked far more advanced than anything in Federation space. "We didn't just survive. We grew stronger. While the rest of the galaxy fought wars and struggled with poverty and disease, we focused on building something better." A voice from the council interrupted her. "Impossible. Humans were primitive when they left their homeworld. How could you develop such technology?" Dr. Nina Brooks stepped forward. She was a small woman with brown hair and intelligent eyes behind thick glasses. She looked like a harmless scientist, but what she was about to reveal would shock the entire galaxy. "Council members, my name is Dr. Nina Brooks. For the past 20 years, I have been studying crashed alien ships that landed on our planets. What I discovered is that your technology is not as advanced as you think it is." She activated her own projector, showing detailed images of alien ship components and computer systems. "Every species in the Federation has made the same mistake. You developed your technology to a certain point and then stopped trying to improve it. You became satisfied with good enough." The council chamber erupted in angry voices. Several aliens stood up and shouted protests, but Dr. Brooks continued calmly. "We took your technology and made it better. Your engines that can travel 1 light year per day, we improved them to travel instantly across the galaxy. Your computers that can process information quickly, we created computers that can think and learn like living beings." Admiral Hendricks stepped forward and spoke in a strong, clear voice. "We have been watching the galaxy for decades. We know about the corruption in your governments. We know about the wars you fight over resources that we can create easily. We know about the slave trade that funds several of your peaceful civilizations." The council chamber fell silent. These were secrets that many council members thought were hidden. Lisa activated another hologram, this one showing a map of the entire galaxy with thousands of small dots scattered across it. Each of these dots represents a monitoring station. "We placed throughout Federation space over the past 50 years. We have been watching, learning, and preparing." A council member with blue skin and 4 arms stood up. "This is an act of war. You have been spying on sovereign worlds." "No," Lisa replied calmly. "This is an act of preparation. We knew that someday we would need to interact with the galaxy again. We wanted to understand what we were dealing with." She pressed another button, and the hologram changed to show detailed information about corruption, illegal activities, and hidden agreements between different alien governments. "We know that the Zephyrian Empire has been secretly building weapons to attack the Crystalline Collective. We know that Councilmember Vex has been selling Federation military secrets to pirates. We know that the peaceful Harmony worlds are actually the largest slave traders in the galaxy. The accused council members began shouting denials, but their voices were drowned out by the chaos that erupted throughout the chamber. Ben Carter, a young human tech specialist, stepped forward and spoke into the noise. "We're not here to blackmail anyone or threaten your governments. We're here to offer you something better." The chamber slowly quieted as aliens strained to hear what he was saying. "Our quantum displacement drives can revolutionize transportation. Our medical technology can cure diseases that kill millions of your people every year. Our manufacturing systems can end poverty and hunger throughout the galaxy." Dr. Brooks added, "Our terraforming technology can turn any dead planet into a garden world in just 5 years. We can solve the resource problems that cause most of your wars." Lisa looked around the chamber at the hundreds of alien faces staring at her. "But we will only share this technology with civilizations that are ready to use it responsibly. Governments that end slavery, corruption, and unnecessary wars. Species that are willing to work together instead of fighting each other." The council leader tried to regain control of the meeting. "And if we refuse your generous offer?" Admiral Hendricks smiled, but it was not a friendly smile. "Then you will be left behind while the rest of the galaxy moves forward. We are not asking for permission to expand our civilization. We are simply telling you that we exist and we are ready to help those who want to be helped." Lisa activated one final hologram. This one showed human ships appearing simultaneously in 12 different star systems throughout Federation space. Each ship was beginning to deploy terraforming equipment on previously dead planets. As we speak, we are beginning terraforming projects in systems that no one else wanted. We are not taking anyone's territory. We are creating new worlds for anyone who wants to live in peace and prosperity. The council chamber fell completely silent as the aliens realized what they were seeing. The humans were not asking for permission or negotiating terms. They were simply informing the galaxy of what they had already decided to do. A small alien with gray skin and large eyes stood up from the back of the chamber. "What do you want from us?" he asked quietly. Lisa Taylor looked at him with kind eyes and spoke in a gentle voice that carried throughout the silent chamber. "We want you to be better than you are. We want you to end the suffering that doesn't need to exist. We want you to join us in building a galaxy where every species can thrive." She paused and looked around the room at all the different alien faces. "The choice is yours. You can continue living as you always have, fighting over scraps and accepting that billions of your people will suffer and die from problems that we have already solved. Or you can accept our help and learn to build something better." Admiral Hendricks added one final statement that would be remembered throughout galactic history. "Humanity spent 150 years learning from our mistakes and your mistakes. Now we're ready to teach. The question is, are you ready to learn?" General Alex Stone stood on the command deck of the massive human battleship called the New Earth. He was a big man with short black hair and scars on his hands from years of military training. At 50 years old, he had been preparing for this moment his entire life. Through the large windows, he could see space filled with alien warships. Thousands of them, from dozens of different species, all pointing their weapons at the human colony worlds. It was the largest military force ever, assembled in galactic history. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission from the Federation fleet," said Lieutenant Rachel Green, a young pilot with blonde hair and quick reflexes. She was one of the best ship commanders in the human fleet. "Put it on the main screen," Alex ordered. The face of a Zephyrian admiral appeared on the screen. The alien had purple skin, 4 eyes, and a mouthful of sharp teeth. His name was Admiral Zex, and he was known throughout the galaxy as a brutal military leader. "Human General Stone," Admiral Zex said in a harsh voice. "You have exactly 1 hour to surrender your colonies to Federation control. If you refuse, we will destroy every human ship and colony in this system." Alex looked at the alien admiral with calm eyes. "Admiral Zex, you are welcome to try, but I should warn you that this will not end the way you think it will." "You are outnumbered 1,000 to 1, Admiral Zex laughed. "Your little colony ships cannot possibly fight our entire fleet." "You're right," Alex said with a small smile. "We cannot fight your fleet. We don't need to." The transmission ended and Alex turned to his crew. Engineer Sam Collins, a thin man with red hair and steady hands, was working at a computer console covered in buttons and lights. Sam, are all the defense systems online? Alex asked. Yes, sir, every single one. The aliens have no idea what they're flying into. Captain Josh Miller stepped forward. He was a man of average height with brown hair and intelligent eyes. For the past 5 years, he had been commanding the human stealth reconnaissance fleet. General, my ships have been mapping every enemy vessel for the past 3 days. We know the exact location, speed, and weapon systems of every ship in their fleet. Alex nodded. Excellent. Rachel, are your pilots ready? Rachel Green smiled. Sir, we've been ready for this fight since we were children. Every human pilot in the fleet knows exactly what to do. The hour passed quickly. Alex watched as the alien fleet moved into attack formation. Ships from the Zephyrian Empire, the Crystalline Collective, the Iron Worlds, and dozens of other species all prepared to destroy the human colony. Sir, they're powering up their weapons, reported Sam Collins. Let them, Alex said calmly. Amy, open a channel to all human ships. Dr. Amy Watson, who had been working as a communication specialist, nodded and activated the fleet-wide communication system. This is General Stone to all human ships. Execute Plan Omega. Show them what we learned from their ancestors. Throughout the human fleet, hundreds of ships began to move. But they didn't move like normal spaceships. Instead, they seemed to flicker and disappear, reappearing instantly in different locations. The alien fleet opened fire, shooting thousands of energy beams and missiles at where the human ships had been. But the humans were no longer there. What's happening? Admiral Zex screamed at his crew. Where did they go? His science officer, a creature with 6 arms and silver skin, stared at his instruments in confusion. Sir, they're everywhere and nowhere. Our sensors can't track them. At that moment, the human ships reappeared, but now they were scattered throughout the alien fleet. Each human ship was surrounded by dozens of enemy vessels, but somehow they were not being hit by any weapons. Impossible, Admiral Zex shouted. No ship can move that fast. General Stone's voice came through the communication system of every alien ship in the fleet. Admiral Zex, you are correct that no normal ship can move that fast. But our ships are not normal. We developed quantum displacement technology 50 years ago. We can appear anywhere in the galaxy instantly. The alien fleet tried to target the human ships, but every time they fired, the humans would disappear and reappear somewhere else. Your weapons are too slow, Alex continued. Your ships are too predictable. Your tactics are too simple. We have been studying galactic warfare for decades, and we found better ways to fight. Lieutenant Dan Foster, who had been working on the colony's defense systems, spoke into his communication device. General, all planetary defense systems are online. The enemy fleet is exactly where we want them. Excellent, Alex replied. Begin Phase 2. Suddenly, the space around the alien fleet began to change. Massive energy fields appeared, creating invisible walls that trapped the enemy ships in specific areas. Sir, we can't move, reported Admiral Zex's navigation officer. Something is holding our ships in place. Sam Collins had been working on these defense systems for 15 years. They used the same quantum technology as the human ships, but instead of moving objects, they created barriers that nothing could pass through. Admiral Zex, General Stone's voice continued, your fleet is now trapped in our defense grid. You cannot move, you cannot escape, and your weapons cannot reach our ships. This is impossible, Admiral Zex screamed. No technology can do this. Your technology cannot do this, Alex corrected. Our technology is based on principles that your scientists said were impossible to achieve. Dr. Amy Watson activated another system, and suddenly every alien ship in the fleet lost power. Their engines stopped, their weapons shut down, and their lights went out. But their life support systems continued to work perfectly. We are not monsters, General Stone explained. We will not kill you, but we will show you that resistance is pointless. Captain Josh Miller's voice joined the communication. Every ship in your fleet has been scanned and mapped. We know exactly how many crew members you have, what weapons you carry, and what your ships are capable of. We know everything about your fleet, but you know nothing about ours. The alien fleet floated helplessly in space, unable to move or fight. Thousands of the galaxy's most powerful warships had been defeated without a single shot being fired. How? Admiral Zex asked quietly. We learned from every mistake ever made in galactic warfare, Alex explained. We studied every battle, every tactic, every weapon system. Then we developed technology that made all of it obsolete. Rachel Green flew her ship close to Admiral Zex's flagship. Her small human vessel looked tiny compared to the massive alien battleship, but everyone knew which ship was more powerful. Admiral, we're going to return power to your ships now, she said. But your weapons will remain disabled. You will return to your homeworlds and tell your leaders what happened here. And if we refuse? Admiral Zex asked. General Stone answered. Then you will remain here forever. We can keep you trapped in our defense grid for as long as necessary. Your choice is simple. Go home and tell the truth or stay here and become a tourist attraction. The power returned to the alien ships, and they found they could move again. But their weapons remained completely useless. We are not your enemies, Alex said to the entire alien fleet. We are offering you a chance to join us in building something better than what exists now, but we will not allow you to destroy what we have built. Engineer Sam Collins spoke to his instruments. Sir, our terraforming ships have completed their work in the 12 new systems. All planets are now habitable and ready for colonization. Excellent, Alex replied. Admiral Zex, while you were preparing to attack us, we were creating new worlds. Planets that can house billions of people. Gardens that can feed entire civilizations. We did this in the time it took you to gather your fleet. Your people are fighting over resources that we can create easily. Your governments are corrupt because they believe in scarcity. But scarcity is a choice, not a fact of nature. Dr. Amy Watson added, we have the technology to end hunger, poverty, and resource wars throughout the galaxy. The question is whether your species are wise enough to accept our help. Admiral Zex stared at the small human ship next to his massive battleship. What do you want from us? We want you to be better, Alex said simply. We want you to end the suffering that doesn't need to exist. We want you to prove that you can learn from your mistakes. And if we cannot, General Stone's voice became serious. Then you will be left behind while the rest of the galaxy moves forward. We are not asking for your permission to expand. We are simply informing you that we will continue to grow and improve, with or without your cooperation. The alien fleet began to retreat, their ships moving slowly away from the human colony. They had come to conquer, but instead, they had learned that they were no longer the dominant force in the galaxy. As wise, the last enemy ship disappeared into hyperspace. Alex turned to his crew. That was just the beginning, he said. Now the real work starts. We need to show the galaxy that there is a better way to live. Rachel Green looked out at the stars. Sir, do you think they'll accept our offer? Some will, Alex replied. And that will be enough. Those who want to build something better will join us. Those who prefer the old ways will be left behind. Either way, he continued, the galaxy will never be the same. 6 months after the failed attack on the human colony, the galaxy was a different place. Admiral Zex sat in his private quarters aboard his flagship, staring at reports that made no sense to him. Every day brought new stories of human ships, appearing in different star systems not to attack or conquer, but to build and create. Sir, we have another report, said his aide, a young Zephyrian officer with nervous eyes. The humans have appeared in the Outer Rim territories. They're building something on the dead planets there. Admiral Zex threw the report on his desk. What are they building now? Cities, sir, and farms. They're turning the wasteland planets into places where people can actually live. Meanwhile, in a secret meeting room on the Crystalline Collective's homeworld, 5 alien leaders sat around a glowing table. They represented the most powerful military forces in the galaxy, and they were all afraid. The humans are making us look like fools, said General Crix, a tall alien with crystal skin and 4 arms. Every planet they touch becomes a paradise. Every system they enter becomes more prosperous than ours. It's worse than that, replied Commander Voss. a short creature covered in thick fur. 3 of our colony worlds have already asked to join, the human territories. They want human technology more than they want our protection. The third alien, a being that looked like a floating jellyfish with glowing tentacles, spoke in a voice like music. We must act before we lose everything. The humans are destroying our power without even fighting us. Captain Josh Miller was billions of miles away, floating in space in his small scout ship. His vessel was completely invisible to alien sensors, and he had been listening to their secret meeting for the past hour. "Did you get all of that?" he asked Dr. Amy Watson, who was monitoring the conversation from the human colony. "Every word," Amy replied through the communication system. "They're planning something big. Should we warn General Stone?" "He already knows," Josh said with a smile. "We've been watching this meeting for weeks. In fact, we helped arrange it." Back on the main human colony world, General Alex Stone stood in his command center with his top officers. The room was filled with screens showing every part of the galaxy and human ships moving like dots of light between the stars. "How many systems are we active in now?" Alex asked Engineer Sam Collins. 47 systems, sir. All of them were previously considered worthless by the Federation. Dead planets, asteroid fields, systems with dangerous radiation. We've turned them all into productive colonies. "And how many alien worlds have requested our help?" 32. "So far," replied Lieutenant Rachel Green. "Mostly smaller planets that were being ignored by their own governments. They want our medical technology and our food production systems." Alex nodded. "Good. The more worlds we help, the more the galaxy will see that we're not conquerors. We're builders." Dr. Amy Watson looked up from her computer. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission from the Secret Alien Alliance. They want to meet with us." "Put it through," Alex ordered. The screen showed the 5 alien military leaders. General Crick spoke first, his crystal face reflecting the light in sharp angles. "General Stone, we demand that you stop your expansion into our territories." Alex looked at him calmly. "General Cricks, we are not expanding into your territories. We are developing systems that you abandoned because they were too difficult or expensive to colonize. Those systems belong to us by right," Commander Voss shouted, his fur standing up in anger. "Really?" Alex asked. "Then why haven't you done anything with them in the past 500 years? Why are they still dead and empty?" The floating jellyfish creature pulsed with different colors as it spoke. "You are using technology that gives you an unfair advantage. You must share your secrets with all species equally." Alex smiled. "We are sharing our technology with every world that asks for our help and promises to use it peacefully. Your governments have not asked for our help. Instead, you've threatened us and tried to destroy us. We will not allow you to continue this expansion," General Cricks declared. "If you do not stop, we will be forced to take stronger action." "What kind of action?" Alex asked. "We have been studying your technology," Commander Voss said. "We know your ships use quantum displacement drives. We have developed weapons that can disrupt those drives." Alex looked interested. "Really? That's fascinating. How do they work?" The alien leaders looked confused. They had expected him to be worried, or angry, not curious. "We're not going to tell you our military secrets," General Crick said. "That's fine," Alex replied. "We already know how your weapons work. We've been watching you develop them for the past 4 months." The aliens stared at him in shock. "You see," Alex continued, "while you were trying to figure out how to stop our ships, we were improving our technology even more. Your new weapons are designed to fight our old ships. They won't work against what we have now." Captain Josh Miller's invisible ship moved closer to the alien meeting. He activated a new system that he had been waiting to test. "Josh here, sir. Should I show them what our new ships can do?" "Please do," Alex replied. Suddenly, Josh's ship appeared directly inside the meeting room where the 5 alien leaders were sitting. The small human vessel materialized in the middle of their conference table, floating in the air without making any sound. The aliens jumped back in terror. Their guards rushed into the room with weapons ready, but there was nothing they could do. The human ship was there, but it was also somehow not completely there. Their weapons passed right through it. "Gentlemen," Josh said through his ship's speakers, "meet our newest technology, Quantum phase shifting. We can exist in your dimension and a parallel dimension at the same time. Your weapons cannot touch us, but we can interact with your world whenever we choose. The alien leader stood frozen in fear and amazement. This is impossible, whispered General Crix. Your scientists said quantum displacement was impossible too. Alex's voice came through Josh's ship. Yet here we are, having this conversation, inside your most secure meeting room. Commander Voss found his voice. What do you want from us? The same thing we've always wanted, Alex replied. We want you to stop fighting and start building. We want you to take care of your people instead of wasting resources on weapons and wars. We have been preparing a demonstration for you, Josh added. Something to help you understand what you're really dealing with. The floating jellyfish creature pulsed with nervous colors. What kind of demonstration? The kind that will show you why resistance is pointless, Alex answered. In exactly 1 hour, we will relocate your entire combined fleet to a system of our choosing. Not destroy it, not capture it, just move it. Your ships, your crews, everyone will be perfectly safe, but they will be exactly where we want them to be. You cannot move our entire fleet, General Crix shouted. Watch us, Josh said simply. His ship disappeared from the meeting room as suddenly as it had appeared. 1 hour later, every single ship in the Alien Alliance fleet found themselves in a previously empty star system at the edge of the galaxy. Thousands of warships, supply vessels, and command ships all moved instantly across billions of miles of space without any warning. But they were not alone in the system. The humans had prepared a surprise for them. The dead planets in the system had been transformed into beautiful garden worlds in just a few hours. Cities sparkled on the surface, and the space around the planets was filled with peaceful civilian ships and space stations. Welcome to New Hope System. General Stone's voice came through every alien ship's communication system. This system was completely dead and empty this morning. We have turned it into a place where millions of people can live happily. We moved your fleet here not to threaten you, but to show you what we can accomplish in a single day. While you spend months planning to attack us, we create entire civilizations. Admiral Zex, who had been moved along with the rest of the fleet, stared out his window at the beautiful worlds below. How? He asked quietly. We stopped thinking of technology as a weapon and started thinking of it as a tool for creation, Alex replied. Every innovation, every breakthrough, every discovery is focused on building rather than destroying. Dr. Amy Watson's voice joined the communication. Admiral, we've been monitoring the health and happiness of your crew during this demonstration. Your stress levels have decreased significantly since arriving in this system. Your people are healthier and calmer here than they were in your home territories. Why? Admiral Zex asked. Because there is no pollution here, no poverty, no fear, Amy explained. This is what the galaxy could look like if we all worked together instead of fighting each other. Engineer Sam Collins spoke next. We're going to return your fleet to your home systems now. But first, we want to make you an offer. Any of your people who want to stay and help us build can remain here. We have cities ready for them, jobs that need to be done, and lives that will be better than anything they've known. And if they choose to stay? Commander Voss asked. Then they become citizens of our growing community, Alex replied. They help us build more worlds like this one. They help us spread prosperity and peace throughout the galaxy. General Crix asked the question that was in everyone's mind. What if we refuse to cooperate with you? Alex's answer was simple and final. Then you will be left behind while the rest of the GE. 1 year after the great demonstration at New Hope System, President Helen Parker stood before the largest gathering in galactic history. She was a woman in her 60s with silver hair and kind eyes that had seen the galaxy transform in ways no one thought possible. The meeting was taking place on Harmony Station, a massive space station that the humans had built in just 3 months. Representatives from over 400 different species had come to hear what humanity had to offer the galaxy. Friends and neighbors, President Parker began, speaking in a warm voice that reached every corner of the enormous hall. 1 year ago, most of you had never heard of our colony. Today we are all here together because we share a common dream. In the audience, former enemies sat side by side. Admiral Zex, The Zephyrian who had once tried to destroy the human colony now wore the uniform of the new Galactic Council. Next, to him sat Dr. Amy Watson, who had become the Director of Interspecies Cooperation. The dream is simple, President Parker continued. Every being in the galaxy should have enough food to eat, a safe place to live, and the chance to make their life better. This is not impossible. We have proven it can be done. Admiral Carl Hayes, the new head of the human space fleet, stood at the back of the hall. He was a tall man with gray hair and calm eyes who had spent the past year helping former enemy worlds rebuild their societies. Next to him stood Dr. Ryan Cook, the chief of the terraforming program. Ryan was a young man with brown hair and enthusiastic energy who had personally overseen the creation of over 100 new garden worlds. In the past year, President Parker said, we have transformed 137 dead planets into beautiful worlds where people can live and work. We have provided medical technology that has saved over 50 million lives. We have shared farming techniques that have ended hunger on 43 different worlds. The audience listened in amazed silence. Many of them had seen these changes with their own eyes. But most importantly, President Parker continued, we have shown that cooperation works better than competition, that building works better than destroying, that sharing works better than hoarding. A small alien with blue skin and large eyes stood up in the audience. President Parker, my world was dying from pollution and disease. Your people came and fixed everything in 6 months. Our children are healthy now. Our air is clean. How can we ever repay you? President Parker smiled. You don't need to repay us. You just need to help us help others. Every world we heal makes the galaxy a little bit better for everyone. Admiral Carl Hayes stepped forward and activated a holographic display. It showed a map of the galaxy with thousands of green dots scattered across it. Each green dot represents a world that has joined the new galactic community, Carl explained. These are not conquered territories or controlled colonies. These are independent worlds that have chosen to work together for the common good. Dr. Ryan Cook added, every one of these worlds now has clean air, fresh water, abundant food, and advanced medical care. Crime has dropped to almost zero. Wars have ended. People are happy. An alien that looked like a giant insect with golden wings raised one of its arms. What about worlds that choose not to join your community? They are free to live as they choose, President Parker replied. We will not force anyone to accept our help, but we will also not allow them to attack or threaten the worlds that have chosen peace. Admiral Zex stood up from his seat. The hall fell silent, as everyone remembered that he had once been humanity's greatest enemy. I fought against the humans, he said in his rough voice. I called them a threat to galactic civilization. I was wrong. He looked around the hall at hundreds of different alien faces. My homeworld was full of poverty, crime, and corruption. My people were hungry and sick. I thought the humans wanted to take what little we had left. Instead, they gave us more than we ever dreamed possible. My world is now a paradise. My people are healthy and happy. The humans asked for nothing in return except that we help them help others. The hall erupted in applause as other former enemies nodded their agreement. Dr. Amy Watson stepped up to the speaking platform. We have learned something important this year, she said. Almost every problem in the galaxy can be solved if enough people work together to solve it. Hunger exists because we don't share food efficiently, not because there isn't enough food. Disease exists because we don't share medical knowledge, not because cures don't exist. Wars happen because we fight over resources instead of learning how to create more resources. A voice from the back of the hall called out, what about the governments that refuse to change? What about the worlds that still practice slavery and corruption? President Parker's expression became serious. Those governments are free to continue as they are, but they will find themselves increasingly isolated as the rest of the galaxy moves forward. Admiral Carl Hayes brought up another holographic display. This one showed trade routes, communication networks, and transportation systems. The new galactic community now controls 80% of galactic trade, Carl explained. We provide the fastest transportation, the most reliable communication, and the highest quality goods. Worlds that remain outside the community are finding it harder and harder to compete. We're not trying to hurt them, Dr. Ryan Cook added, but we also won't slow down our progress to accommodate governments that refuse to treat their people fairly. An elderly alien with silver skin and wise eyes stood up slowly. President Parker, you have given us a gift beyond measure. But what happens when you are gone? How do we know this community will continue to work without human leadership? President Parker smiled warmly. That's the best part. This community doesn't depend on human leadership. It depends on everyone working together. She activated one final holographic display, showing the organizational structure of the new galactic community. Every world has an equal voice in our decisions. Every species contributes their unique knowledge and abilities. Humans are just one part of a much larger whole. We provided the initial technology and showed that cooperation was possible, she continued. But the community we've built belongs to all of us now. Dr. Amy Watson nodded. In fact, many of our best innovations this year have come from non-human members of the community. The Crystalline Collective developed new energy systems. The former Iron Worlds created better construction techniques. Even the reformed Zephyrian Empire contributed advanced manufacturing methods. Admiral Zex stood up again. The humans taught us something that changed everything. They taught us that we are stronger together than we are apart. For thousands of years, every species in the galaxy believed that progress meant taking things away from others. The humans showed us that real progress means creating new things that everyone can share. President Parker looked out at the diverse crowd of beings from across the galaxy. This is just the beginning, she said. We have proven that peace and prosperity are possible. Now we need to spread this success to every corner of the galaxy. Every world that joins our community makes us all stronger. Every problem we solve together makes the next problem easier to handle. Every species that contributes their knowledge helps us all learn and grow. Dr. Ryan Cook stepped forward one last time. Next year, we plan to complete terraforming projects in 500 more systems. We will establish schools and hospitals on 1,000 worlds. We will connect every member of our community with instant communication and transportation. And most importantly, President Parker concluded, we will continue to prove that there is enough room in this galaxy for everyone to thrive. The hall erupted in cheers and applause that lasted for several minutes. Representatives from hundreds of worlds stood and clapped, many with tears in their eyes. As the celebration continued, Admiral Carl Hayes looked out through the station's massive windows at the stars beyond. Thousands of ships from dozens of different species moved peacefully through space, carrying goods, people, and ideas between the worlds of the new galactic community. Hard to believe it all started with one hidden human colony, he said to Dr. Amy Watson. Amy smiled. It didn't start with the colony. It started with the idea that we could do better than we were doing. The colony just proved that the idea could work. And now we get to watch it spread to every star in the galaxy. Outside the station, the galaxy continued to change. On 1,000 worlds, former enemies worked side by side to build better societies. Children from dozens of different species played together in schools that had been built through cooperative effort. Scientists shared discoveries that benefited everyone, instead of keeping secrets that benefited only themselves. The age of competition and conflict was ending. The age of cooperation and creation had begun, and it all started because a small group of humans had decided to build something better instead of accepting something worse. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was exactly what humanity had always intended.